Okay, this is my Elseworld story, Superman Gravitas. So these are the characters. This is part 2 of the last video. We got Superman Gravitas. Like, what if Superman landed in the bad part of Metropolis instead of Kansas? And what if the Kents were criminals, like small-time crooks? So we have the main characters. We got, that's Clark Kent, CK, you know, because he hangs out with the gang, the 100. That's Pete Ross. And there's Martha and John Kent. You know, there's Johnny K and Marty K. Because they got street nicknames. This is the suit reveal at the end of the story, because this is a script. I got a script for it. I want to make it an animated film, so I have a script for it already typed up since, I don't know, like 2 years ago, last year, whatever, you know. As soon as this slow ass shit loads up, here we go. Slow ass shit. Finally. Okay, this is the suit reveal when he becomes Superman. Notice the high collar, because this version of Clark Kent, he's 18 years old when he becomes Superman. And the whole storyline is, you know, he crash lands from Krypton on Earth, but his spaceship misses Kansas and crash lands in Metropolis on the south side, like suicide slums. And like I said, the Kents are criminals. Like Jonathan Kent, he is still from Kansas, but he had a football scholarship at Metropolis University. And he was playing college football, and he got an injury, and he dropped out of college, and that's how he got into crime. And Martha Kent also is a criminal. She's like a small-time hooker slash thief. When they meet each other, you know, and they become like a Bonnie and Clyde, but they don't kill people, they just rob people, and they rip off big corporations like LexCorp and all that. And we see when they find Clark Kent, he crash lands in a vacant lot, and they hide his spaceship and all that, and they raise him like them. And he has all these tattoos. Okay, these are the crooks. These are the criminals. This is intergang. Because the whole subplot is there's a Brainiac that's starting a war between Intergang and the 100. So these are Intergang. There's Mannheim. These are goons. They steal these high-tech weapons from Star Labs for the gang war. And these are some of the 100, which is another gang from DC Comics. Mostly, you know, African-American, you know, black street gang in Metropolis. You know. And these are the leaders. That's Big D, who's the short guy. And his younger brother is Lil D, who's a tall guy. See the contrast, the whole switch. You know, big brother's the little guy, and little brother's the big guy. You know, that whole trope I switched, you know, the whole switch around trope. There's Pete Ross, of course. I race bent Pete Ross from the comics because, not because of Smallville, because it fits the story, because Suicide Slum is mostly black. That's where Steel comes from. John Henry Irons, he comes from Suicide Slum, also known as Southside. This is Miggs. He's a light-skinned guy in the 100. He gets fucked up in the gang war, you know. And these are some of the other characters. as soon as it loads up. Yeah, Pete Ross and Clark Kent are still friends in this version, but you know, they grew up around street gangs, so you know, he's not a squeaky clean farm boy. He's he's basically like a little small time thug. You know, they don't really do serious crimes. They do a lot of petty crimes, but you know, what if somebody who's the symbol of truth and justice, what if he had a little dirt on him? That's the whole thing. What if Superman grew up, you know, among criminals? He would have to know criminals to understand them better. So he's not this farm kid. He's a, you know, he's got tattoos. He's got the fade. He got the earrings. He's, you know, he's a street kid. And this is Lana Lang. Lana Lang is like a hood white girl in this version. Double L, you know, she got cornrows because she's a white girl in the hood, you know. Clark, CK, he still has the Kryptonian symbols because, you know, his spaceship had all that Kryptonian stuff from his, you know, Jor-El and Lara. So he has Kryptonian-based tattoos, but he also has, you know, regular, you know, Earth tattoos, you know, city boy, because he's, again, he didn't grow up in the farm in this version. He grew up in Metropolis, so he's the city kid. And Jonathan Kent, who is from Kansas, but like I said, he had the whole football injury, had to drop out of college, and he basically is stuck in Kansas. I mean, stuck in Metropolis, so he had to adapt. You know, he had, you know, part-time jobs, but you know, once he got into crime, that was like his thing. And he meets Martha, who's also into crime. And they still have morals, but their morals are kind of sketchy because, you know, they do steal from people. So they're not, nobody in here is squeaky clean. There's a lot of gray areas. But that's what makes the story more compelling, because you take Superman and put him in different environments and see how he reacts to them. And now we got the villains of the story. Everybody's younger in this version because, you know, I wanted a younger version of Superman, not the older version we usually get. This is when he just starts out being Superman. Just like the Batman, who was in a sequel to this story, like World's Finest, we see Batman as a younger version. And we see the dynamic between a person who's hard on crime and somebody who used to be in crime, who's now the superhero. So now we have the villains. See, this is Lex Luthor. See, he still has hair in this one because this is a younger version of him, but he's starting to go bald. We get receding hairline and get a bald spot. But you know, Lex is traditionally a red-headed character, so I kept that aspect of the character. And this is Mercy. She's like his assistant. She's like a half white, half Asian girl in this version. And this is the main manipulator. This is Brainiac. Curl Dox. This is his true form. And this is his human, his Earth form. He has a little device, like a little hologram device that makes him look like just some regular guy. He's basically just like generic rich businessman with a white suit, but that's his human disguise. And he calls himself Q. And he manipulates the Intergang and 300 into fighting each other. I mean, the 100 and Intergang, he manipulates them into fight each other. And he just sits back and watches. And at the end of the story, he meets Lex Luthor and they form a partnership. So yeah, this is him in his human disguise, and that's his true form. And he knows everything, and Clark makes a joke. He's like, what are you, some type of brainiac? Because he knows everything, and he likes that name, and he starts calling himself that because, you know, he thinks Earth people are amusing. He likes watching them suffer because that's entertaining to him. So yeah, that's it. That's Superman Gravitas in a nutshell. The Elseworlds story. What if Clark Kent crash landed in Metropolis in the poorest section, and he became a superhero from a crook? That's it. So yeah, I already got the script for this story. I got the characters. Now I got to get it made, and we'll see what happens. All right, peace.